is the global head of energy analysis for the firm Oil Price Information Service.
We're flirting with the 6-year lows for crude oil, and yet in certain parts of the country, people are seeing gasoline price spikes of 10, 15, 20, or even 50 cents a gallon in the upper Midwest.
Closa says gas doesn't store well, so it's refined not long before it's burned in your car. Any disruption at a refinery sends suppliers scrambling to secure enough fuel to fill their tanks. They bid up prices in the process. Closa expects Chicago and the rest of the country will see lower gas prices soon, certainly next month when refineries switch over to their winter blends, which are less expensive to produce.
And that, combined with people driving less after Labor Day, should create a much more balanced market.
Closa says if low oil prices hold, gasoline likely will fall to a national average of just above $2 a gallon in coming months. Jeff Brady, NPR News.
You're listening to All Things Considered from NPR News.
LRN, South Florida's NPR news station. I'm very glad to have you along. More than 100,000 refugees have arrived in Greece this year, most in rubber boats, from Syria. More details on that story coming up with All Things Considered. The time now is 5:20.
Classical music has a new home on WLRN. Tune into WLRN HD2 on your HD radio, your smartphone, or your computer.
Hello, everybody. I'm driving.
Music 24/7.
Driving around.
In-depth NPR news and information on 91.3 FM, while WLRN HD2 broadcasts and streams Classical 24. Learn how to listen at WLRN.org/classical. It's WLRN Classical on WLRN HD2 on the air and online now.
Partly to mostly cloudy skies, with some scattered thunderstorms developing during this evening. Overall, a 50% chance of rain somewhere in our region. Overnight low of 77.
There's always traffic. Yes, I just went by there. I'm going to swing back around. There's not much going on at all.
Cloudy skies. Chance of some rain in the morning, a high of 89.
Support for NPR comes from NPR member stations and from AT&T. With AT&T, the network is on demand, the office is mobile, and the cloud is designed for high security. Learn more at att.com/focus. From Cancer Treatment Centers of America, offering one-day second opinions for patients seeking a better understanding of their diagnosis and treatment options. Learn more at cancercenter.com. And from Americans for the Arts at americansforthearts.org. This is All Things Considered from NPR News. I'm Alyssa Blah.
And I'm Robert Siegel. The self-proclaimed Islamic State has beheaded captives. They've kidnapped young girls.
I think it's vibrating from the car.
And now the U.S. is trying to answer this question. Did ISIS forces use chemical weapons against Kurdish forces? As NPR's Tom Bowman reports, American intelligence agencies are trying to get soil and other samples to determine what happened.
Officials tell NPR the suspected chemical weapons attack occurred earlier this week during an artillery barrage in the village of Sultan Abdullah, just south of Mosul. Officials say some Kurdish troops after the attack showed symptoms consistent with chemical weapons exposure, possibly mustard gas. It's uncertain how many Kurdish troops were affected. Concentrations of mustard gas can be fatal.
Mustard is what we call blister agent, so it burns the skin and the eyes.
That's Raymond Zelinskas. He directs the Chemical and Biological Weapon Non-Proliferation Program at the Middlebury Institute of International Studies at Monterey, California.
The first symptoms are usually either that the eyes shut up and you can't see,
is sunburn.
Zelensky says its use would be of particular concern because of the lack of protective gear.
All these populations, like the Kurds, they're completely unprotected. So that would be a big deal if somebody actually got a hold of the muskets.
The Wall Street Journal first reported on the incident. Still, one Pentagon source says it's uncertain what, if any, chemical was used. It's possible the chemical used was chlorine, the source said. There's evidence ISIS in the past constructed roadside bombs together with chlorine, which can damage the lungs. Tom Bowman, NPR News, Washington.
For months now, we've been hearing about the migrant crisis in Europe, the thousands of people dying at sea, thousands more stuck in squalid camps. The numbers become numbing. So we wanted to hear just one story of one migrant's journey.
Hello, good afternoon.
How are you?
Yes, my dear, I'm fine. My name is Sofian Al-Mubarak.
We reached Mr. Al-Mubarak today at a crowded migrant camp on the Greek island of Lesbos. He's from Syria, 40 years old, with a wife and 7-year-old daughter. He was a financial manager, his wife a communications company executive.
I have a car, I have a good life.
That was in the past. They lived in the northern Syrian city of Aleppo. But earlier this year, with Islamic State fighters and the Assad regime laying waste to Aleppo, Sofian Al-Mubarak made a decision.
Running away is the best policy. So I took my family, we ran to the countryside of Aleppo, and I've told them, stay here, I'm going to go to Europe.
It must have been very hard to leave them behind.
Of course, it's a very risky thing, but
he says it was too risky to take them. He crossed on foot into Turkey, made his way across Turkey to the coast, bought a life jacket, and paid a smuggler
$1,100 US
for a seat on a rubber dinghy.
The most horrible experience in my life.
The dinghy set off across the Aegean, packed with men, women, and 9 children.
Exactly. I've been in a boat with another 41 person, a bad engine, and nobody knows the direction. And all of the people are trying to take the risk. And it's a one-way ticket.
So tell me about what happened when you landed on the island of Lesbos.
When I landed, there was a mountain with about 200, 300 meters height. And then there was a street, and we walked about 9 hours till we reached the camp.
You walked 9 hours. I think it's 40 miles probably from where you landed to the camp.
Yes.
When you first landed on the shore in Lesbos, can you tell me what went through your mind?
Freedom. I want to get free out of Syria. The situation with Daesh made my life miserable.
Daesh meaning the Islamic State, ISIS?
Yes, the ISIS people.
Were you thinking, as you sat on that coast of Greece, were you thinking about your wife and your child back home?
Exactly. Nothing else.
Do you have a cell phone? Could you call them?
Of course, directly I called them. And we all started crying.
Tell me, Mr. Al-Mubarak, about the conditions at the camp where you're staying now on the island of Lesbos.
Actually, it is the worst condition I have ever seen in my life. The situation, for example, the toilets here, they don't have water inside the toilets. They are bringing waters within 1 hour or 2.
Is there food?
I'm living on biscuits right now.
You're living on biscuits?
And bringing juice, and that's it.
Mr. Al-Mubarak, where are you hoping to head? Where are you going?
Oh, at the end, I hope to go to the UK. I was a financial manager in Syria. I need any organization that needs somebody who speaks English and Arabic and with a background of finance.
Do you feel hopeful about what's to come?
Of course. Life must go on. We are all alive and kicking. But between time to time, I think of my family, and that's it. I just want to get them back to me as soon as possible.
Mr. Al-Mubarak, what do you think it's important for listeners here to understand about migrants like yourself who are making their way in these huge numbers flooding into Europe?
I want to say on behalf of the Syrian migrants that Syria is a good country. I didn't like to go like this. And it doesn't need to be like this, but this unbelievably deviled regime inside Syria, inside Iraq, inside every country made everybody eager to run away from this hell, from the Syrian hell, from the Middle East hell. I'm very sad. I'm about to cry.
I'm so sorry.
But nothing really matters. Actually, it's like crying for crying. Nobody's listening.
Oh, I'm listening.
My dear, I'm not talking to you with 100% of my mentality, because my physical situation and my mental situation is very bad.
Well, you sound remarkably fine.
You won't find me like this if you saw me face to face. You know, I'm in terms of business, I'm a white shirt man.
You're a white collar worker, yeah.
You know that this terminology with the silk tie?
Yes.
And with the suit.
You're a businessman.
Yes, exactly. But now, I'm in another world.
Mr. Al-Mubarak, thank you so much for talking with us, and I hope you get reunited with your family very soon.
Thank you very much, my dear.
That's Sofian Al-Mubarak, a migrant from Syria. He spoke with us from the Karatepe migrant camp on the Greek island of Lesbos. All Things Considered is a production of NPR News, which is solely responsible for its content. Like a story you heard on this or another NPR program? Share it with a friend at npr.org. While there, you can also hear stories you missed, enjoy expanded content, or connect to your favorite member station. This is NPR.
Coral Springs Museum of Art invites you to attend Masterpiece event Blame It on Rio on August 20th at 7 p.m. You'll meet special guest Romero Brito and view his exhibition of joyful, vibrant pop art. Enjoy Brazilian delicacies and cool cocktails. Listen to Brazilian jazz, purchase trip and balloon pop raffle tickets, and samba the night away. Tickets available at coralspringsmuseum.org or 954-340-5000. Masterpiece event Blame It on Rio is an officially sanctioned event of Broward 100, celebrating the art of community.
News headlines coming up in just a moment here on 91.3 WLRN. The time's 5:50.
Considered from NPR News, I'm Melissa Block.
And I'm Robert Siegel. In this half hour, a cast of characters.
We'll listen back to some of my favorite voices.
Just fussing at that hurricane. I was furious, out of my mind, angry. This is